Welcome to the Legends Behind the Craft podcast, where we feature top leaders in the wine and craft beverage industry with your host, Drew Hendricks. Now, let's get started with the show.
Drew Thomas Hendricks here. I'm the host of the Legends Behind the Craft podcast, where I talk with leaders in the wine and craft beverage industry. Past guests of Legends Behind the Craft include Ryan Thompson of 10th Mountain Whiskey, Josh Jacobs of Speakeasy, and Yuan G of Erstwhile Mezcal. If you haven't listened to these yet, be sure to check them out and subscribe. Today's episode is sponsored by Barrels Ahead. Barrels Ahead, we work with you to implement a one-of-a-kind marketing strategy, one that highlights your authenticity, tells your story, and connects you with your ideal customers. In short, we help wineries and craft beverage producers unlock their story to unleash their revenue. Go to barrelsahead.com today to learn more. Today, Bianca Harmon's joining us again. She's one of our direct-to-consumer marketing experts. How's it going, Bianca?
It's going good, Drew. Excited to be here and talk to Alejandro and learn all about Mamajuana. I think that's how we say it.
Mamajuana. Yeah, I am super excited to talk today with Alejandro. Alejandro Russo, he's the founder and CEO of Candela Mamajuana. What is Mamajuana, you ask? Well, it's a legendary spiced rum from Dominican Republic. And today we're going to delve deep into that. We're going to talk to Alejandro about his entrepreneurial journey from founding and exiting a social media company to running a premier spirits brand. Welcome to the show, Alejandro.
Drew, Bianca, thank you so much for having me. It's great being here.
Looks like you have a glass of Mamajuana right in front of you.
Oh, yes, I do. It goes down smooth.
So, we got to start off. Usually I say, how did you get into the industry? I got to know right now. Tell our listeners, what is Mamajuana?
Okay. So a lot of people, most people, including myself before I got into this, you don't know what Mamajuana is, never heard of Mamajuana. I was one of them.
I was too until I saw the pre-show here. So I admit it. I've been in the spirits industry forever. I thought I read marijuana, but
a lot of people think, is it marijuana? No, it's Mamajuana. And it's a very special drink, and I'm here to tell you all about it. So the easiest way to understand it is, I like to say that it's rum's sexy cousin. Okay. So it's rum's sexy cousin, and it's an all-natural spiced rum that is typical to the Dominican Republic. It's, some people and publications would say it's the Dominican Republic's unofficial drink. And it's what millions of people drink when they go to the Dominican Republic every year. And it's a mix of rum, natural spices, and honey. And it's been around for over 400 years. So it's a legendary recipe. It originally started as a medicinal drink by the shamans of the Taino people, which inhabited the Caribbean. They were the first ones to make Mamajuana. Then the Spaniards came around, they added booze to it, and now and now you have Mamajuana with booze, which is how most people drink it today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So is it drank on just over the rocks, or is it mixed with something, or is it already kind of a mixed?
Yes. So that's a great question. If you go to the Dominican Republic today, you will most likely get Mamajuana served in a shot and at room temperature. What we did at Candela, we kind of changed the game a little bit. It's still great as a shot, if that's your thing. But we made it a little bit more rummy than medicinal. So it's actually just a fantastic and premium spiced rum that you can make mojitos, pina coladas, Moscow mules. You can make anything with it. So it's great in cocktails. But nice. I personally sip it on the rocks just like this.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Now, so I may have experienced this. So I had a coworker that was from Belize. Okay. And he used to bring these bottles of what he called Belizean bush medicine, which had sticks and twigs, and you pour the alcohol into it. Is this similar to that?
It is, and it's very important to note that the native people that inhabited all of the Caribbean, they're the Taino people. So Puerto Rico, Cuba, the Dominican Republic, all the way down to Colombia, Venezuela, and all the way up to South Florida even. They were the Taino people, and they're the ones that would make the Mamajuana. So each island then, they started calling it something else. Okay. It's basically the same thing. You go to Haiti, you go to any one of these islands, and they all have their version of it.
Like a little regional expression.
Yep, exactly.
So Candela, what's that expression like? We kind of got into it, but what sort of herbs are going into this thing?
Yeah, so Candela, we are the only premium brand making this. Candela, for those of you who are not native Spanish speakers like me, who are not Latinos, Candela means fire. It means flame. When something's sexy, when something's on fire, you say that's Candela. And a lot of the reggaeton songs actually say Candela all the time. That's why when you listen to Latin music, you'll hear the word Candela a lot. But Candela is the first premium brand of Mamajuana. So we kind of did what, Mamajuana was very artisanal and not commercially available before we came around. You couldn't really buy it off the shelf. You had to make it at home. So Candela was born to change that. We are the first Mamajuana that we like to say, we took Mamajuana from under the bar to the top shelf. So, a drink that was never actually seen on the bar, it was always hidden under the bar. Now we share the shelf with the Don Julios, the Diplomáticos, and the other great spirits of the world.
What's the price point of Candela?
You can get Candela at Total Wine & More, for example, for $30.
Oh, very reasonable.
Yep, $29.49.
I'm really curious to hear, though, the story of how it all started with you and Mamajuana. How
let's take a step back.
How Mamajuana came into the United States.
Let's go even a little further back. Let's talk about the social media company.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go to the start. Your entrepreneurial
Mamajuana and
journey.
we found each other. It was one of those things, like it was destiny, because it actually started from my previous company. So it's important to note, I don't come from a big liquor family. I didn't inherit any big distillery or anything like that. I've always been an entrepreneur, but mostly in consumer internet, mobile apps, that kind of area. And right before I started Candela, I used to run a social media company. It was very popular. It had millions of people using it. We were doing great. We were even on Shark Tank. We had won a bunch of awards. The company was crushing it. And then unfortunately, something happened to, personal tragedy to one of my co-founders, and we had to wind down the business because she was the only American. I wasn't able to work in the United States. I didn't have a work visa. So we basically had to close down the company, and I had to leave the United States. And it was a really painful experience because, right as the company was doing really well, we actually had to wind it down. So I was going through this horrible experience back home in Chile, which is where I'm from. And my mom says, you know what? Let's go on vacation. You, your sister, and me. You could use some time off, because me and my sister were both major workaholics. So my mom says, you know what? You got to take a second. So we go to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. Okay. Beautiful place. It's, if you haven't been, highly recommend it.
I actually looked up going there after I first talked with you a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow, how have I never wanted to come here before? And now it's on my list. Because it's so affordable too.
It's the best value for money you can get.
Oh my gosh.
You can be in paradise for half the price of any hotel here.
I was flabbergasted because I had just gotten back from PB, in Mexico, and I was like, I think this is even cheaper than going to PB.
It is, and in my personal opinion, I think you're gonna like it a little more.
Well, I'm going to be going soon. Anyways, I just needed you to know that you've now done that to me.
You can count on me to suggest the best hotels and places to go, but you go here. You step off the plane. The moment you step off the plane, you get this warm, humid breeze. It just smells like the island. It smells like you're on vacation. Everything is just covered in palm trees. It's incredible. So, as soon as we got off the plane, we disconnected and we get to the hotel, beautiful hotel. It was a sunny day. So we get into the pool, and at the swim-up bar at the pool, all these guys are like, come on in and join us. Come on, have some shots. And they're all having a great time. and they're all doing shots. I'm not a shots kind of guy, but obviously, in a group of people, they're all doing shots. I'm like, okay, what the heck? And I didn't even ask what it was. So we have a shot, and I'm like, wow, what is this? This is great. And the bartender goes, "This is Mamajuana." I said, "Mamajuana," and I didn't give it much thought because we were all like fooling around with these guys, and I didn't ask too many questions. Long story short, that ended up being a crazy, crazy day. A lot of crazy things happened, a lot of blurry memories. But the thing is, the next day I went back to my bartender and I said, "What the heck did you give us yesterday? Those shots were amazing." And he goes, Mamajuana, yeah. You've never heard of this? And I said, no. And he starts giving me the story. Turns out a lot of people use it as an aphrodisiac. And we can't make any claims, but we like to say that we can't confirm nor deny any of the rumors about Mamajuana. But this guy starts telling me all these funny stories. He's like, "You've never heard of the bed breaker? The baby maker?" And he starts giving all these, and I'm like, "No, never heard of any of this stuff." I think it's hilarious, but it just tastes amazing. Like, give me another shot of this. So it becomes my go-to shot every single day that I'm on vacation. And as I was leaving on the last day, I go back to my bartender and I said, "Hey, I'd love to take a bottle of this home with me. Where can I buy it?" And he goes, "Hey, come behind the bar with me and I'll give it to you." I go, "Okay." So I go behind the bar. This guy opens up his backpack and he gives me a bag of sticks and all these things. And I go, "Oh man, I don't want to get into trouble. Like, I don't want drugs. I don't want marijuana." I said, "Mamajuana, the stuff that you've been giving me every day." And he goes, "Yeah, this is it." I said, "What do you mean this is it?" And he goes, "Yeah, you just add some rum, add some honey to these sticks, wait 2 to 3 months, and then you'll infuse the Mamajuana, and that's the Mamajuana." And I said, "Listen, buddy, I'm a millennial. I come from, the Netflix, the Spotify, the YouTube generation. I don't want to wait 3 months for this stuff. I need it ready to drink." And he goes, "Yeah, sorry, I can't help you. We don't sell this stuff." And I was shocked to think, wait, you're telling millions of tourists are drinking this stuff every single year, and you're not selling it? How could you not be able to buy a bottle of this stuff? Just couldn't believe it. And
did you at least take sticks?
You could buy the sticks.
Did you at least take them when he gave them to you?
Yeah, of course I did. And guess
what are the sticks?
It sucked. I made it at home. It sucked.
Did it?
Didn't even taste remotely similar to the one that I had tried in the Sunab bar. And I said, man, no, I have to get my hands on a bottle of the liquid that I tasted there. It was amazing. So that's where my drunken epiphany came about. And it was a eureka moment. I said, somebody needs to make this, because I'm sure that, like me, there must be millions of people that want to try this stuff, just like I'm trying it here.
It's amazing. So what were those sticks? What are the sticks?
Okay, so what's fun about Mamajuana is that there's no one standardized recipe. So everybody kind of makes their own, and some add more things, some add less. I can't share specifically what's in our own special blend, because we literally tasted, I'd say, over 80 recipes to get to this point. But it's a core group of native spices, tree barks, and leaves that are only available in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
So, there's one called Palo Brasil, which I think the translation is Brazilian chew stick. There's rosewood, there's cinnamon, there's clove. There's a bunch of things that go in it, all locally sourced. And if you infuse it with rum, let it rest, all these flavors and qualities will come out of the sticks, and they will flavor your rum. So the way that we made Candela is actually pretty special, because for those folks who enjoy a spiced rum, most mass brand spiced rums that you can find on the shelf, they basically start with a flavor profile, and then they deconstruct and say, how can we make this fast and cheap, right?
Okay.
Candela starts the other way around. We actually start with the finest. All right, so Candela is made the opposite way. So we actually start the process by saying, what is the finest rum that we can source? and we found this fantastic production partner that makes the rum that goes into Candela. It's very, very unique. It's made from distilled, fresh pressed sugarcane juice, not molasses, which is, it's kind of a big deal. Me not coming from the rum world, I had to learn a lot about rum it was a crash course. And what one of the rum masters told me, he said, look, most rums that you buy on the shelf, they're made from molasses. And that's like drinking like an orange juice from concentrate. What we make, which is just fresh pressed sugarcane juice, is like a fresh squeezed orange juice. The difference is noticeable. And he actually gave me a sip of, a rum from molasses and a rum from fresh sugarcane juice. And the other one was like velvet compared to the molasses. So that's the first thing. Our rum is made from sugarcane juice, and it's all estate grown. So it doesn't even have to travel anywhere. In the same place where the sugarcane grows, it's chopped, and then it goes straight to the press and then to the distillery. So it's as farm to bottle as it gets. And then it's aged in ex-bourbon casks. So it gives it a very, very special body. And then, so we start with this rum. And then, starting with this rum, we just infuse it with all these natural spices and flavors and sweeten it with honey. So it's so different from the other spice rums that you get that have artificial extracts, artificial colors, artificial flavors. This is just infusing natural spices in super premium rum. That's all that we do.
Oh, wow. How long is it aged in the bourbon cask?
It's aged for at least 8 months, but we can't say exactly how long. It's also
proprietary length.
Proprietary process, exactly.
So the base ingredients, it's kind of like the Colonel Sanders special recipe for chicken. It's the 26 spices. It's just the mix of those. How would you say, without disclosing your proprietary blend of base ingredients, what would you say yours is more? Which of those is more forward? Like if someone was to blind taste yours against a group of Mamajuanas.
That's a great question. So a lot of Mamajuanas, they taste very medicinally. Like they have like a very medicinal profile. A lot of Mamajuanas are more of a kind of like a sangria. Some of them add wine, and it's just like very like winey. We went the route of saying we want this to be very rum forward. It's primarily a spiced rum that happens to be infused with natural Mamajuana spices, but it does taste like rum. But the special thing about it is that, number one, it has a lower ABV than most rums. This is a 30% alcoholic by volume product instead of a 35 to 40, which is what most rums have. The flavor profile and the type of rum make it so that it is a very smooth and palatable experience that most people that drink this are folks. Actually, what's funny, Drew, is that most of the people that buy Candela at tastings, at Total Wine, for example, they're folks that are going in to get some wine. And they say, I don't do hard liquor, forget about it. Then we give them a sip of Candela just on the rocks. And they're like, wow, I've never been able to drink something on the rocks. And you can enjoy it just like this. It goes down very smooth. It doesn't have a bite. And the first flavor that you get is this. It's a little bit of cinnamon with like a very strong wooden note. And it's just very earthy. It doesn't feel too alcoholic. It's just like a very strong, earthy, cinnamony feel. Then as it goes down, it warms up your chest. Kind of, how like menthol feels on your skin. That's how your chest feels after you drink Candela. You will feel a very nice warmth in your chest.
So what you're saying is it'd be good for me to bring when I'm snowboarding, right? In my flask.
Oh yeah.
It's my new whiskey.
Believe me, most of our customers, they're not based in Florida or Miami or any tropical place. They're actually in cold places in the Midwest. All the places that are cold, Michigan, all these places are where we get most of our customer inquiries and orders online.
Awesome.
That's amazing. How I got it. The getting stocked on the shelves and actually breaking into a category as competitive as rum is just tremendous. How did you do that?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, it was such an uphill battle. It was so difficult. First of all, I had no clue what I was doing. Okay, that's a starting point. I'm not from the industry. You have a great episode about the Michael who started the Barefoot Wine Company.
Oh yeah,
and it really reminded me when I was listening to that episode. It reminded me of my journey a little bit because I also went into this not knowing anything about it, and literally going door to door trying to sell this.
Do you think that helped because you didn't know how difficult it was going to be?
Oh, absolutely. If I had known how hard it is to bring a new liquor to life, I definitely would have not done it. I would have done something else, right? There are easier ways to make money than selling a new type of booze. But I was just so passionate about it because I loved it as a consumer. So what happened is that once I said, you know what, I think we want to do this and bring it to market. I started the company with my mom because I had the idea and she heard about the idea. She was in Punta Cana with me and she said, you know what? That's a great idea. I want to be your partner. And my mom's a very smart businesswoman. She always looks at my business endeavors from afar and kind of like, okay, I see what you're doing. But this time she was in Punta Cana. She saw how people were enjoying this. So she said, you know what? This is a great idea. I want to be your partner. So we started it together. She's not as involved in the day-to-day as I am, but she's very much involved in the strategy and high-level initiatives that we do. But the thing is that I needed to find out if there was a market for this because I certainly enjoyed this, but maybe I'm not your average consumer. Maybe I have a different taste profile than most people. So I was living in Chile at the time, and I imported my first test batch of the liquid.
So you were in Chile the whole time you started all of this. That's right, because you had left this state.
I was thousands of miles away from the Dominican Republic. Wow. I was in a place that it was cold. It had nothing to do with this Caribbean paradise that I would dream of. And it was really interesting as a test market. What I thought would be a disadvantage turned out to be a huge advantage, and I'll tell you why, Drew. Chile is one of the toughest markets to crack when it comes to the on-premise.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because people drink only two things in Chile, wine and pisco. That's it. So, and pisco, they only drink piscolas, so which is pisco and Coke. Most people, they're not even making pisco sours, which is what you would normally drink at a restaurant. If you go to someone's house or pregame, with your friends, they're all drinking piscola. Okay, so very tough market. It's even hard to sell vodka there, okay? Like vodka soda doesn't even move there. So a friend of mine, he does huge college parties. He moves around, 1,000 to 1,500 college kids every single weekend. So when I imported my first test run, it was a pretty, I say test run, it was 225 cases. So it was pretty big. It was half a container.
Yeah.
So it arrived and I'm like, all right, now we got to sell this. And I go to my friend and I say, hey, this weekend for your college parties, could you not buy any tequila or Jägermeister? Can you just buy this Mamajuana? I just want to see if people like to drink it. And he goes, yeah, sure. Why not? Whatever. He was my college buddy, so he just did it to help me. And this was from a scientific method point of view. It was a perfect test because it was an open bar. So there was no price discrimination, branding discrimination. It was just drunk college kids coming up to the bar and getting their favorite drink for free. So we started putting this, and I said, you know what? 99% of people are going to drink piscolas, but I guess if we could replace just the Jaeger and the tequila in this bar, I guess we can say that it was a success. Can you believe that they brought out the first tray of shot glasses? And have you ever seen like these zombie movies, like where, the zombies come out and they're eating anything that they can?
Yeah.
That's how these college kids were. They saw these shots, and after tasting one, they were just waiting right outside the bar. After every new tray of shot glasses would come out, they, devoured them. And
amazing.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, wow, that's weird. And then my friend the next week, and he said, hey, why didn't you bring me 5 cases of this? Then the next week, and he said, give me 10 cases of this. And then by the 4th weekend, he goes, how many cases do you have in Chile? And I said, like 215 left. And he goes, all right, I'll take all 215.
Holy moly.
And I couldn't believe, and he said, you're taking the entire, batch that I imported? I said, yeah, like, these guys love this drink. So that's when I said, you know what? This isn't going to be a hobby. This is going to be a real business. And we got to bring this to the United States, which is, the big market for us. We're not going to limit ourselves. We got to launch this and do it big.
Are you still importing to Chile as well?
No, not anymore, unfortunately. But we really want to get back there. It's just because of, we've been struggling to keep up with the demand, and we're always running out of inventory here in the States. So we haven't had the opportunity to go back to Chile and sell there, but we will very soon. We just expanded capacity.
How did you break into the United States? So you've had some success. You had tremendous success in Chile, so you're able to base it on that. But convincing U.S. distributors and U.S. stores based on success in Chile has got to be a...
Yeah, they didn't care about it. That's the first thing I'm going to say. So I walk up to the first liquor store and I'm like, riding off of my success. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't want it. I'm like, what do you mean? Taste it? They're like, yeah, it tastes good, but I'm not interested. Then I go to the next store. They go, no, nobody's coming in asking for Mamajuana. I said, yeah, of course nobody's asking for it because they've never tried it before, but they're like, yeah, sorry, not interested. And that was like one after the other. It was no. I said, what the heck are we going to do? So
did you try the bars, or did you just do liquor stores, or did you try bars?
So I realized this is one of those things where you need the rocket and you need the fuel tank and you need both at the same time. So we needed to keep on pushing liquor stores, but doing tastings. So we would guarantee, we'd say, look, bring in a case. I will move this case guaranteed the first week that it gets to your store. I will do enough tastings so that you don't have a single bottle left. So there's no risk. You have 10 days per Florida law. They can pay it in 10 days. Bring it in. I will get rid of this bottle, this case for you before you even have to pay it. They're like, all right, fine. So that's how we kind of lowered the risk for them to bring it in. And as soon as we were doing demos, we knew that customers would love this. So as soon as the liquor store owners saw the customers liking it, they were like, okay, we believe in this. And then at the same time, gaining respect from the trade, bartenders, restaurant owners, bar managers. And to be honest, we are the type of product that bartenders usually really love because the quality of the juice is second to none. And it is something special that we're not bringing them another tequila where they need to take one out of their program to put ours in. It's something that doesn't compete with anything else on their program. Whether it's from the Mamajuana perspective of things, or even spiced rums, none of the bars and restaurants, at least here in Florida, they don't have a single premium or super premium spiced rum. They only have super premium rums. So, any account that's using Don Julio's for their margaritas, but they're still using a $13 rum, spiced rum for their Mai Tais or pina coladas, we come in and we're just a better alternative for them.
I could see the mixologist, Candela, being like the secret ingredient.
Yeah, so that was the first, and it's true. It's like, what's in this? They're like, what's in this? And it's like using a normal rum, but it adds an extra layer of complexity to the flavor. So we very slowly started to break into the Miami market. Then Total Wine picked us up. That was like our first big break here in Florida, and then things really started to take off when we started selling the product in the Dominican Republic. Because when we got into the resorts, I came, to the bar managers and said, how many bars do you have in this hotel? They'd say 17 bars. All right. How are you making your Mamajuana? They go, every bartender makes their own, and it's, a mess. And I'd say, all right, what would you say if I give you a FDA compliant, TTB approved, ready to drink Mamajuana? They can just crack open as soon as you run out of the previous one. They're like, I love it. So we started selling Mamajuana in all these big all-inclusive resorts. And all of a sudden, we had thousands of Americans that were trying our product on vacation. They would come back to the United States, and then they would see it on the shelf. And that really, really made a huge difference.
Well, that's a great idea. And then standardizing the hotels, Mamajuana is probably good for them for sure.
Oh, we solve a huge pain point for them, because you know what it is for a beverage or an F&B director to figure out if every single bartender at one of these bars is making it the right way. Like, you don't want to deal with that. They want things clean, they want things standardized. So we came in and we solved a huge problem for them.
Well, that's it. I like the solve the pain point. The other thing is you brought up a common theme that comes up with all the spirit, wine too, with Barefoot Wines. It's in that navigating that 3-tier system, and that common misconception that if you build it, suddenly it's going to get distributed and sold. It's really boots on the ground that makes it happen.
Exactly. You need the right distribution, and at the same time, you need to create the demand for your product. And that's what the Dominican Republic did for us. It's not that we're making a fortune in the Dominican Republic. It's that in the Dominican Republic, we are tasting and getting thousands of people every single day tasting our product. And that's the best thing that could have happened to us, because we realized that, that's how it has to be. It has to be an organic growth. It has to be an organic demand. People that taste it on vacation, they realize how good it is. And when they come back to the United States, they need to find this. There's over 60,000 Google searches for Mamajuana every single month in the United States. And that's from people that come from the DR, come back and are searching for it. So we are that go-to brand for the people that are looking for Mamajuana after they come back to the United States.
That's brilliant. I can see how you could kind of organically get a foothold in Miami and some of the Dominican population areas in the US. But the fact is, there's a ton of snowbirds across the whole country in winter vacation in Dominican Republic. So you're getting
and you said it, Drew.
Whole 50 states.
Exactly. And that's what it is. Most of the people that are drinking Candela and buying it online, they're not Dominicans, they're not Latinos. These are snowbirds from Connecticut, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, New York.
St. Paul, Minnesota, middle of December. They're going to the Dominican Republic.
Exactly. Those are our biggest fans, and they're the number one consumers of Candela.
I like that. It brings a little bit of sunshine to their winter day.
Exactly. That's what it is. We're all about sharing the Latino spiciness with everybody across the United States.
That's great. So as far as your sales now, like where are the biggest numbers? Where's your largest sale base?
So we're still a very small brand. We're only distributed in Florida, California, and in New York, but only in a handful of retailers. So Total Wine is very important for Candela. Costco, we just started selling Costco in New York, and now Costco in New Jersey starting in June.
Can you get it in Costco in California? That'd be great.
And very soon we want to get it to Costco in California and Costco in the Southeast, because Costco is a great place where people try new things. It's a great place where people go to experiment with new products, and a lot of our customers are already shopping there, so we can't wait to get in there. But I'd say those chains are the biggest ones. And in Florida, Big Daddy's, which is a local chain, has been fantastic to work with as well. We got a lot of independents too. So
where are you manufacturing it now? Now that you moved from Chile?
In the Dominican, we've always manufactured in the Dominican Republic. We just moved to a new facility. It's in a beautiful place, which I hope that one day we can do like a big Candela field trip, all of us, and I can take you there. But
that'll be fun.
It's in a place called San Pedro de Macorís, which is smack in the middle of a sugarcane field. You drive, it's like an hour drive from Punta Cana, and you just drive, an hour just surrounded left and right by sugarcane, and then you get to this place, and it's a wonderful place. Once you're there, you actually see like how fresh the product is, because you're in the middle of it. It's definitely worth going, and I can't wait to take you guys there.
Oh, it sounds fantastic. Is it a place where you can set up like a tasting room or tour the facilities for local people visiting Dominican if they want a day trip?
Oh yeah. There's a place right next to the aging warehouse where you can host beautiful tastings. It's all set up exactly for that. it's a place designed to welcome visitors.
No, that's exciting. Now, going back to the U.S., and just the breadth that you're kind of on both coasts right now, how do people in Minnesota or Colorado find your or
Online? Online. So if you go to drinkcandela.com, that's where you can buy our product online. We ship to 47 states. So, most states you will be able to get Candela delivered to your door. Orders are fulfilled in, between 1 to 2 business days, and then shipped between 3 to 5 days. So pretty quick.
What service do you use to fulfill that?
We're using a service now called Axel Pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about how.
Pretty similar to, Speakeasy, Cask and Barrel. There are a lot of great services there. We just switched to, Axel Pay.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check that out. I'm familiar with Speakeasy, but I'm always curious how spirit companies can navigate the 3-tier system.
Oh yeah, look, these companies are doing a great job. I'm a huge fan of Josh at Speakeasy and the work that he's done bringing, all these spirits to consumers. Gabby and Lauren at Cask and Barrel, they're doing a fantastic job as well. It's not easy navigating this 3-tier system. There's a lot of change happening every single month as well. So you really have to adapt quickly. But it is something that's growing, and I think more and more these companies are professionalizing themselves enough so that they comply with the 3-tier system, and they're able to really cover as much market as possible within the confines of the law.
Yeah, it's so good that you're able to, that companies are able to navigate it now. Taking a step, kind of a step sideways here, is now you've ramped it up, you're selling all around, you've grown, hustled. What would you do differently if you were to launch another brand today?
Whew, what wouldn't I do differently? I'll start with that. I think I did more things wrong than I did right. No, but in all seriousness, I think what I would do differently, I think from the get-go, I would have probably invested more in brand identity and packaging design, which when I started this, we were so scrappy that all I could afford was 99 designs, kind of $100 logo situation. And then me trying to learn Photoshop to tweak it. And it was horrible. And then anything that we needed to do, so the labels and all the POS and the shelf talkers, and it was just a lot of pain because I had to do it myself. So I did everything from visiting liquor stores, from morning to 5, then doing the tastings from 5 to 8, and then at night designing and ordering and all the logistics and operations side of things. So I went through every part of the process, and I think the biggest mistake that I made was probably not investing in a more solid brand DNA and foundation from the start, so that when we had to do sell sheets, when we had to do shelf talkers, when we would launch new expressions of the label, there would be guidelines where we could do this and scale it more easily. So that's one thing. Second, I think it's hard to shift your mindset from being a one-man show to becoming a CEO and managing a team. Because again, initially you're so scrappy that I had to do everything myself. And you become the bottleneck though. And you become the bottleneck figuratively and and literally. Yeah. And I guess there's a book that I always revert back to in my mind, which is called the E Myth, like the myth, which tells you that you need to work on your business, not in your business. And I always try to remind myself when I'm doing too much day-to-day operational duties to say, you know what, focus on working on your business, not in your business. And that's something that I learned too late in the game, probably a few years in, and it would have been nice to have that mindset from the get-go. It would have also saved me a lot of headaches.
That mindset makes so much sense, but it's so hard. I try it every day. I'm like, oh crap, I'm working in my business again.
And it's true. And look, it's not because we're doing it something wrong. It's just because when you start a company, you need to go. It's part of the growing pain, transitioning from the operator mindset where you have to do every single thing to the manager mindset where you can manage a team that does everything. And the transition between one to the other is a pain point, is the puberty of a company. And it's nobody looks good during puberty. Puberty is an ugly period of most of our lives, right? You're kind of awkward, like you're an adult, but you're a kid. Nothing fits you well. Your clothes seem too big for either too big or too small. And I think the same thing applies to a company where you have to go through those pains to really understand, okay, my company's growing now. Now's the time to hire an operations manager, a sales manager. Yeah. And you need to really shift your mindset once you go through that process.
Oh yeah, for sure. What's next?
What's next? So we're in a journey to really give everybody a taste of what this is all about. We really want to create a special brand that embodies this Latin vibrancy and shared with everybody. And we have new business partners in the company. We're starting to partner up with great artists. We're starting to do a lot of great things. We just scaled to a bigger distillery and production facility. So now it's just a matter of lighting this on fire and setting ablaze on this fire that we want to extend throughout the rest of the United States.
I have a feeling it's going to catch on quite a bit. Because I gotta back up 1 second though. What's your favorite? You've seen a lot of mixologists come up with drinks. What's the most unique one you've come across?
Unique. I've seen a lot because thankfully we work with a lot of very talented bartenders, and I remember we did a bartender competition once, and it was so amazing to see the stuff that bartenders would come up with. One of the most impressive ones is a bartender named Marco. He made this drink, which was like an old fashioned infused with rose water and all these things. And it came in a little coffin, like a pirate's coffin. And it had a love letter. And it was this crazy concept. So bartenders, they've had a lot of fun with this. But I'm a simple guy. I like to drink just simple drinks that you can make at home that taste great. And honestly, that's the beauty about Candela. You don't need a lot to really enjoy
drink it straight.
I drink it on the rocks. It makes a mean old fashioned.
I can imagine that. You wouldn't really have to add bitters, I wouldn't think.
You can add a few. I like to add the orange Angostura bitters, which are great. Yeah. But honestly, look, mojitos, Moscow mules, we call it the mulata, our Moscow mule. But the drink that I think is going to be the drink of the summer is what we call the mamacita. Okay?
The mamacita?
The mamacita. And you got to try it, Drew. Bianca, you're going to love this. It's so easy. It's only one ingredient. You put Candela on the rocks, okay? And you get grapefruit soda.
Oh.
Grapefruit soda. It could be Fever Tree, Q Mixers, maybe the Trader Joe's. Whatever grapefruit soda you find, it's Candela and grapefruit soda. That's the mamacita. You're gonna love it.
Okay, I'm about to have my fiance pick up a bottle of this on his way home. I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty much thinking that too.
I'm sitting here this whole time, wow.
My wife loves grapefruit soda.
I do too. Grapefruit's my favorite.
We've got a refrigerator full of Diet Squirt right now.
It's the best, right? So here's how you came up with that.
I just drink a lot of grapefruit sparkling water and all of that. But I grapefruit. I'm I see it and I'm
yeah,
gotta get it.
It's the best. It's fresh. So here's the thing, because we have great cocktails, and we were figuring out, okay, what can people drink when they're having a pool day? Candela is mostly, it's better served next to a body of water. That's what we always say. So if it's the pool, if it's the ocean, or even a YouTube channel that's showing you the ocean, doesn't matter, right? You need to try to be next to a body or like a fountain or something, all right? Try to be next to a body of water. And it's a drink that's served socially and hopefully in a mode of celebration or having fun. This isn't your leather and library and cigar type of spiced rum situation. This is about having fun with friends. This is about day drinking. This is about enjoying fun by the pool, great music, great vibes. That's what Candela is all about. So we were trying to say, okay, what is the recipe that you can just put in a pitcher on a nice summer day by the pool? It doesn't need a lot of preparation. And you can have 5, 6 of these throughout the entire afternoon, and you're still going to feel good. You're going to feel light. It's not going to be like too sugary. And we tried it with the grapefruit soda, and we were blown away. And we were like, this is it. This is the drink of the summer. And last weekend we tested it here in Miami. My mom was visiting. We went to the pool, and she had like 4 of those, and we're like, man, I can't believe that there's booze in this. Like, this tastes amazing. And we're like, yep, that's the test. You know, when you feel like you can have 3, 4 of these, and you're just having like a fun buzz, and you feel good, like that's what this drink does to you.
Fantastic. The Mamacita.
The Mamacita. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Well, that's very ironic too, because I don't know if you know this, but it's Mamacita, but the whole Mambacita for Kobe Bryant's daughter. She just turned 16, the one that passed away, and she's like the Mambacita. So
she's the Mambacita.
Got the
exactly.
Mambacita shoes that just came out. So now you've got the Mamacita.
Yeah, we thought it was a great name because, you know, it has the mama from the Mamajuana, right? It's the Mamacita, but also Mamacita because it's you know what a Mamacita is? It's somebody that's young, that's having fun, that's full of life, that's youthful. That's what a Mamacita is. So it really goes well with our drink and with the spirit of our drink, which is all about having fun and enjoying yourself. It's not a complicated drink. You know, if you're a mixologist, if you're a rum master, you will obviously recognize all the beauty that's in this rum and why it's so special and why it's different from the others. But most importantly, it's the consumer. I started this not as a master rum blender, but as a consumer. And this is a drink that the common person, whether they know about rum or they don't, if you don't know how to tell a rum from a bourbon from a whiskey, you will enjoy this anyway. You don't need to know that much to enjoy it. Rum connoisseurs, you will enjoy this even more because you will be able to tell what's special. But honestly, this is a drink that's very approachable, and anybody will be able to enjoy it at home.
Sounds fantastic. I am thirsty. As we're coming towards the end of this thing, I always like to give you a chance to shout out anybody that's helped you or you respect most in the industry right now. Oh man,
there have been so many people that have helped us. We couldn't have gone here where we are without the help of everybody. You know, it really does take a village. So, you know, starting from our production facilities, Veronica, Jose Enrique, they're the ones that run it. They've done an incredible job. In my team, we have Alex in the DR. We have, you know, Frank, Ulises, and Adriana here in Miami. They're killing it every day out there, sharing the love. We have great investors. Pitbull, he's our partner. He's also been, you know, a huge part of this journey. He's really pushed this and helped us get to where we are. We've had the help of incredible people in, you know, the entire chain of the trade. So I don't know. I'm just incredibly grateful for all the people that have helped Candela be where it is. And then you asked me who I admire in the industry, and I want to name an historical within the industry. I'm not going to say Napoleon or anything, but it's more recent than that. But I guess when I was starting this company, I would always go back to the Sidney Frank story and really admire what he did, because he made the most unsexy, unattractive drink in the history, right? Some German digestive liqueur that nobody was drinking. He made it Jaeger and made it sexy and made it cool. And then he did the same thing with, you know, super premium vodka with Grey Goose. And I just really admire how he saw something in the market that nobody else saw.
Yeah.
And say what you will about if you like Jaeger, if you don't, or if you like Grey Goose or not, that's not the point. The point is that he made an iconic brand out of a product that nobody else saw.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to become. I want to make Candela the most iconic brand in spirits. And coming from an angle that absolutely nobody saw. And I want people to look back and say, wow, like that was so unlikely that you made it from this obscure rum that they only make in the Dominican Republic. I'm like, yeah, that's how we find it. That's where we found it. But now everybody's hooked on this stuff.
It's an amazing story. Alejandro, where can people find out more about you and Candela?
Well, you can go to drinkcandela.com. It's very easy. It's drink, and then Candela, it's like can, CANDELA, drinkcandela.com. That's where you can learn more about the brand, about Mamajuana. You can also check us out on Instagram at drinkcandela. And that's it. And if you're in Miami, please, shoot us a note, send us a DM. We're here. We're based here in Wynwood. Which also shout out to the Overproof team, which let me share their offices with them. They're a fantastic company in the spirit space, Overproof. Highly recommend them for anybody that's looking for analytics in wine and spirits. They have sick offices in Wynwood, which is the coolest neighborhood in Miami, and they let us use it and crash their offices. So shout out to Overproof, Mark and Jasper. And if you're in Miami, shoot us a note. We'd love to, have you at the office and have a few drinks with you.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for Alejandro for joining us today.
Drew, it's been an honor. Bianca, I love this podcast. So it's so cool to finally be on this side of the table and not be a listener. So I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to share the future and exciting things that we're going to be launching in the next few months. So we got
to check back for an update.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks for listening to the Legends Behind the Craft podcast. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.